1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Out there in Guitar Land, Mike Henning here, coming to you today with the classic old-time song, Cluck Old Hen. We're going to be in the key of A. I've got my capo on the 2nd fret. We're going to be thinking in the key of G, but it's going to sound like the key of A. I did this lesson for banjo and mandolin, so I thought it'd be fun to do a guitar lesson as well. And we're going to learn 3 versions of this song, starting with the absolute basic melody, which is really important. Always learn the absolute basic melody first. Second version, we're going to add some alternate picking, so filling up the space. There's a lot of long notes in the basic melody, so we're going to fill up those spaces with alternate picking. And then for version 3, we're going to make it bluegrass. So add some slides, add a little bit more up and down picking, add some pull-offs. Keep it kind of what I would say for the last solo, advanced beginner. The last solo is a little trickier, but I think you can get it with some practice. I'll break down all 3 solos note for note, just like I played at the beginning. And then we'll do a short little backup lesson. The chords are pretty easy on this one, but it's a good little section you can loop, try a bunch of different bass walks, try some different strumming patterns. We'll break that down in the backup section. All right, here's Cluck Old Hen in the key of A. All right, let's start breaking down this basic version of Cluck Old Hen. Remember, I've got my capo on the 2nd fret. We're going to be sounding the key of A, but thinking in the key of G. You can practice this song without your capo if you want to, but you just won't be able to play along with me. But you're certainly welcome to play without a capo if you want to. The basic melody is 4 measures long, essentially. It's an A part and a B part, but each phrase repeats twice. So if you learn the first 4 measures, you've actually got 50% of the basic song down already. So let's play those first 4 measures, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Do that a few times. I'll do it really slow. And a little faster. So we're going to start essentially out of this G chord here, where I've got my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string relative to my capo. And then I've got my pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string. So that's the shape I'm going to start out of. That's why I'm going to use these 2 fingers. It might feel a little weird at first, but it's actually easier when we're coming from a chord to now I can just keep these 2 fingers down. So that's the first shape we're going to use. It's just those 2 fingers, and I'm going to play the 2nd string and then the 1st string. And then I'm going to take my pinky off and put my index finger on the 1st fret of the 1st string. It's going to be 2 quarter notes followed by a half note. So we have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just loop that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Try and keep your ring finger down if you can. And if you're having trouble hearing the timing of that half note, what you can do is just play it as 2 quarter notes. And then basically just take out the 2nd picked note and just do kind of an air guitar where you make the motion but you don't hit the string. Or count it out loud like I'm doing, okay? So one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we play a little response phrase back to that 3rd fret 2nd string. back to that pinky, and then take your ring finger off this time and put your index finger on the first fret of the second string. And I like keeping my pinky down because it kind of creates this cool little overtone, but you can also take your pinky off if you need to. But so we're basically playing this now. This opening melody is really good practice on taking one finger off while you have other fingers down and resisting the urge to lift all the fingers up. That's the natural inclination, is to lift your other fingers up. So that's good practice. The timing of measure 2 is the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 quarter notes followed by a half note. So let's play those first 2 measures together. We have all downstrokes with my right hand, and then we have a little response phrase. Let me play it. It's 2 measures long. It'll make more sense. We have starts on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then we play the 3rd fret on the 1st string, and then to the 1st fret, and then back to the 3rd fret on the 1st string. So we played this. That's measure 3. I'm just looping it. And then measure 4, we're going to introduce our first upstroke, but you're going to start with a downstroke on your 3rd fret 2nd string and play a downstroke, and then a quick upstroke 1st fret 2nd string, and then 3rd fret 3rd string, and then open. So that sounds like this. And then a half note. So you have 1 and 2, 3, 4. So those 2 measures together sound like this. Actually kind of just keep your pinky down right there. It kind of helps you keep this shape. It's good picking practice there. The other thing that's kind of cool about this song, just from a music theory perspective, is we're going to be playing major kind of happy sounding chords in the backup, but we're essentially playing lead notes that would kind of insinuate a minor chord. So we're essentially playing minor lead notes over major chords, which has a really cool tension. Sometimes it's called modal, or I've heard it called the mountain sound. It's very typical in bluegrass. So that's what we're doing there, just on a music theory perspective. We're playing essentially what would be minor notes over major chords, so you get this cool tension. Let's play those last 2 measures, 3 and 4 again one more time. Faster. So let's play that top line, the first 4 measures. Here we go. And then measures 5 through 8 are exactly the same, so we just repeat that same thing, played exactly the same way. Like I said, if you get that top first 4 measures, you've got the whole A part. You just repeat it. So I think the hardest part is just getting the initial positions down with your left hand. If you maintain those fingerings that I've mentioned, it's going to be a lot easier to play the song. Okay, let's do it one more time. Here we go, a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Now, same thing with the B part. If we learn the first 4 measures, we've got the whole B part. We're going to start on the 3rd string this time and play open, open, and then the 3rd fret with our ring finger for a half note. So same timing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 quarter notes followed by a half note. And And then a very similar response, we play open, open on the 3rd string. And now down to the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So that sounds like this. I'll play both those two measures together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're familiar with the lyrics, that's the Cluck Old Hen part. So you can kind of say Cluck Old Hen in your head. That helps you get the rhythm. And then a little response like open, open again on the 3rd string. And then 3rd fret, 3rd string. 1st fret, 2nd string. So you kind of walk up the notes. And then we play that ending lick from the A part. So you're right here. Keep this finger down, really important, and play. So you have. Very common with these kind of fiddles tunes for the A part and the B part to have the same little ending. So that's very common. So that whole B part, actually then we would repeat that same thing. So we'd have. So that's the whole B part, not too hard. Let's play the B part a few times, then we'll put it all together. Faster. Alright, so that's the melody in its most basic form. It's always good to learn the absolute basic melody first before spicing it up. That way you know what to take out if the song gets too fast, or if you forget a section, you can revert back to that super basic melody. That was a big mistake I made when I first started learning. I learned a version of the song that was too advanced with too many embellishments, and even if I could kind of play it or stumble my way through it, I didn't know what was the core melody and what was kind of fluff or embellishments, right? So that was a mistake I made, and I had to go back and learn a lot of these fiddle tunes, like, okay, what is actually the melody? It's easy to kind of learn an improvised version, but then, like I said, you don't know what's the melody. So if you want to create improvisations that actually reflect the melody, you need to know what that bare bones melody is. That's why it's really important. So now let's look at taking that melody and filling in the spaces with some alternate picking, okay? Here we go. Let's break down that version right now.